I suppose my rugby journey is like far from traditional. It started when I was, I'd say, 10 or 11, and there was a mixed team. And I say mixed team with huge generosity because I was the only girl on this mixed team. It was definitely a bit of hesitancy and reluctance from the other lads, but as soon as, they passed me the ball and I could run, they were happy to have me on their team, I think. Uh, the contact side of it was definitely way over my head because it was the first time I was introduced to contact at all. So I definitely struggled with that. But no, as soon as we started playing well and stuff, they were happy to have me on the team, I'm pretty sure. But so I played, that was my introduction. I played for the season and it was great fun. And we came actually second in our final. So it was really successful and I enjoyed it so much. And then at the end of that season, I sort of found out, oh, that's the end of that. It was short and sweet and there's no more teams for me to play on. So I just went back to football, Gaelic football, played that for a good bit. And then I think in 2013, there was a girls' team set up in Ballinasloe. And it was just phenomenal to see. I think there's 40 girls at training. Like, it just took off in such a huge way. And it was just like a social event nearly. Like, we all just loved going to training. We loved playing matches. And before we knew it, we were, one of the best underage teams in Connacht. And it was just so enjoyable, the whole journey. From there, I got into Connacht, so went for Connacht trials and luckily enough got into that. And then everything sort of took off from there. I was quickly on the under 18 team, under 18 sevens team. And then literally the year after that, I was in the senior women's setup. So it sort of happened all at once and it was a bit of a whirlwind. But yeah, that's my rugby journey and I wouldn't change it. So many girls from my club came up and their parents and my family. So it's something that I look back on with, so much emotion because it was truly was just magical. I think everyone says that about their first cap, but to have it at home and to be so young and to have a full stadium of people, it was just amazing. And now I look back on that memory and you really realize how integral a role your parents and your family play in your rugby journey or career, because it's just all the more special when they're there with you. I can't thank them enough. I'd say, I had them up at 5 a.m. some mornings to drive me into the sports ground in Galway to go to the gym before school and home again. I obviously couldn't drive at 16, so they're dropping me up to Dublin to go to training. And, they're always sort of, they didn't want to be too involved and they wanted me to make my own mistakes and sort of figure stuff out myself, but they were always there to fall back on and they're always in my corner. And even with my leaving cert, it was a really difficult decision I made to step back from rugby and to sort of think, no, I've only one shot at a leaving cert. I need to do it, and I need to do it justice. And they weren't, pushing me in any direction to stay doing rugby or to pull back and do my leaving cert. They were just, supportive enough to let me make my own decision and to just support whatever I did. When I was 16 and just into the women's team, the mantra in my head was, you're not good enough to be here. You're going to get dropped. And I felt very, imposter syndrome, I suppose. I really did not think I was good enough, and I probably wasn't looking back. So at that point, when I got onto the senior team, I definitely didn't think that, I'm going to be here for long. I really thought this was going to be short lived and I don't know. But up until recently, I sort of started thinking that, I'm taking training really seriously, and I'm lucky enough to be able to train with the sevens team as well. So they provide, a semi-pro sort of contract. So yeah, that's more of a realization as of recently. But definitely when I was first introduced, I was not thinking like that at all. When I was younger, I think it's changed so much now, but when I was younger, you didn't really see like many female sports people as role models. You just didn't see them in the media and things. So all of my role models ended up being, Brian O'Driscoll or players like that, because I didn't really see the women's team. And then yes, slowly but surely, once I joined the team, all my role models were in the dressing room with me. I looked up to Emer Constein and players that were alongside me, because that was the first time I started seeing them and seeing how hard they work and how well they train. So it wasn't until I was actually in the dressing room with them that, oh wow, these really are my role models. I suppose that term role model is something, it's still a bit uncomfortable, because you're never going to see yourself as a role model, and you'll always look to other people. Um, but I suppose I think it's so important for younger girls to have players that they look up to, and a team that they really aspire to be on. Um, so if the opportunity ever arises, to train minis, or to be a role model in any sense, I usually jump at the opportunity, because I realize the importance. And even when I was in school, I remember Katie Taylor came in and Cora Staunton came in, and out of my whole time in school, they were probably the most memorable days when those sporting heroes came in. And so you nearly need to put aside your own insecurities and think, oh, I'm not a role model, or I'm not good enough, or whatever, and just go for it, and know that, however big or small of an impact you can make on a younger girl growing up wanting to play sports, that's so positive. So yeah, it's definitely a term that sits uncomfortably with me, but I'll sort of put my own stuff aside and try to be the best role model I can be. Well, currently I have complete blinkers on and tunnel vision for our World Cup qualifiers. So they're happening in September, and that's all I'm thinking about. It's the main focus at training, um, analysis on the other teams and recovery and everything. It's all tailored towards those three matches that we need to win. Um, so I'm not thinking too far ahead. I'm sort of looking at the challenge right in front of me for now, and hopefully we win those matches, qualify for the World Cup, and then we're into the World Cup in New Zealand. So yeah, it's one step at a time for me. I'm not thinking too far into the future, because you never know what'll crop up. You could get injured, or you never really know. So I'm just taking it one step at a time.